This is an organization of people. People get together, people do events, people need each other. To get people together to do great events. This organization, ISES, does just that. There are lots of good teachers out there that we can all learn from. I encourage each and every one of you to continue in your ISES venture, or if you're not an ISES member, please join us, get involved, and your business will grow, you will personally grow, and you'll meet just a lot of great people along the way. So people who need people are the luckiest people.
So the Big Apple Awards were established in 2002 after 9/11 in an effort to unify and bolster our industry. Since that time, this event has developed into the signature event of the ISES Documentary chapter, and in many ways, the signature event of our industry. I've been involved with this event now for a couple of years. I think if it's about one thing more than anything else, that one thing is celebration. Tonight, we have the privilege of celebrating two leaders, two event visionaries, and inducting those two individuals into our ISES Hall of Legends, Marie and Ryan Fable and Van Allen Rice. This year, we created a new award, the Service Excellence Award, to recognize a couple of the stars who have worked tirelessly behind the scenes to pull everything together. And so it's our hope that the Service Excellence Award follows a similar path to the Hall of Legends. To Vinny Salvetti, Karen Oberstein, and Declan Cox, the three of you have set a very high bar. Congratulations. Speaking of a high bar, tonight we celebrate the finalists of our Big Apple Awards competition. As usual, there's some incredibly inspiring and passionate submissions. It's all of our responsibility to continue to promote and advance the events industry, and the work we do will always be our greatest asset in that mission. But tonight's most important celebration is of each other. Who we are, what we do, what we've accomplished individually, organizationally, and as an industry. The Big Apple Awards were created to bring us all together. As long as we continue to do that, we're going to be better off. So many incredible relationships with people in this room. Relationships that are about my business and have helped my business grow, but relationships that have transcended business and developed into great friendships. And those relationships, those friendships are solely a function of my commitment and my involvement with ISES. And I know I'm not alone in that, and so plain and simply, that's why you should consider getting involved. There are many thank yous and acknowledgments for tonight, for the past year. I am going to keep them brief. First and foremost, I want to thank all of our sponsors for tonight for making this event happen. Without them, this event would not be going on. In particular, to the New York Historical Society, to Steven Starr Catering, and to Cajun Cello for tonight's live music. You won't see their logo out there with the rest of the sponsors, but we very much appreciate their support. Also, I wanted to specifically mention Deb Roth, Jen Jakovsky, and Mark Musters for being instrumental in producing tonight's event. To Joan Sherman. Is Joan in the auditorium? No? Okay, so for those of you who don't know Joan, I will tell you the New York Metro chapter is lucky to have such a passionate, dedicated person really running the show. Joan goes so far above and beyond her job title and her job description. On behalf of the board and on behalf of the ISES New York Metro chapter, say thank you to Joan. Last but not least, to my sequence team, some of whom are here tonight, some of whom we will be FaceTiming with later in Beijing as they're on site for a project. You guys have been really supportive, not just this year, but for the past 3 years. You've lent your ear, your counsel, your guidance, your patience, your unwavering support. I welcome to the stage the president of Fourth Wall Events and Forum Set, who we can thank for this great set, Jeff Guberman, and the CEO and lead creative director of Carolyn Dempsey Designs, Carolyn Arcuri.
For best photography or videography. And the nominees are Fifth Avenue Digital for Allie and Brian's wedding, Avenue 5 Films for American Express Open for Small Business, Jason Gardner Photo and Video for Jewish Education Project Summer Institute.
And the winner is, drum roll, Avenue 5 Films. A social event or wedding, and the nominees are Food Company Catering and Special Events for Bat Mitzvah Boardwalk Bonanza, On the Move Entertainment for Ping Pong Pool Party, and Silhouette Group for Island Style Birthday Weekend Celebration.
The winner is On the Move Entertainment. The next award is for Best Entertainment, and the nominees are Go West Creative Group for 22nd Annual GreenDeals 2013, Moulin Rouge, 1031 for Private Corporate Holiday Party.
Yeah! Go West Creative Group!
Make some noise, it's too quiet!
I labored over this. I really did. I mean, I sat there, I was on my computer, and I'm laboring, thinking about what I'm going to say, and I'm thinking about the perspectives and all the stuff that Marine's done in the world. And I thought to myself, you know what? It's not about Marine at all. It's about Paul. Somebody's got to take that back, and Paul's got it. So, she's up for a Hall of Legends award. This is about him. Began as Ryan Fable Productions, which I remember well, and has graduated to become what is now First Protocol. But long before there was ever such a shock and awe-inspiring organization as First Protocol, there was a happy-go-lucky young lady in a highly lauded musical publication called Billboard magazine. And as such, Maureen's acumen for planning events was uncannily on view as she wound up at the end of 6 short years planning all of their events. Her boss, still one of her close friends, I think is a guest at the party tonight. All right, cool. And the person who hired her is still one of her closest friends and heads up your Goldman Sachs team. No small thing. But this is about Paul. And I'm telling you that right then, that's when life was easy. So Billboard, however outsized in this sector, was no match. There was no match for Maureen's outsized ambition. And true to form, she began looking for greater elements of world domination. What better way to conquer that world than to hit it where it counts? The wallet. Talk about everyone's wallet, the New York Stock Exchange. So it's here where Miss Ryan Fable began her ascent to over 500 events a year, managing a team of 12. And in the crazy pace of what was just then a transferring to digital trading floor, she was herding troves of cats that needed to be herded, and that was no small thing, especially when it had to be right every time, in the snow, in the sun, in the rain, and when the stock market dropped over 100 points in the spittle. So Paul's life started getting a little rocky around here. Even as she mastered the fast-paced, ever-evolving world of high finance and their respective events, it should be noted, actually, that I think your boss from there is also here tonight. Am I correct? It's pretty good. She collects bosses. Even the New York Stock Exchange represented something of a prophylactic between Maureen and world dominance. And those things will never do. So she went out on her own, starting aforementioned Ryan Fable Productions. And this is where I first encountered her. Peppy, ever blonde, and having nothing to do with me at the time. Little did I know that my brother Paul was bearing the true brunt of this one. Serene, smiling, supportive, and run out of the apartment every morning no matter what was happening in his world. Paul gave up their bedroom as an office until one day, and this has to have been the happiest day of your life. She actually went out and she got an office. She took her professionals, she took her professional stuff, and she moved out. And so after 2 full years, Paul had the place to himself, where he could watch baseball, reruns of Doogie Howser, he could drink beer, and if you're wondering, maybe he could even think about where his wife was. So as it happens, the family grew from the initial 4 to the formidable team that exists today in the film building on 44th Street. And I can speak from personal experience that the incredible environment that Maureen has created in her company is enviable and something that I know we wish we could have all done. And the wine. So it was great reverence and an incredible admiration for the fortitude, solemnity, and pure support that is Paul, that I stand before you to present the Hall of Legends Award to my man Paul. This is my idol, to say the least. If you guys know what's good for you, you're going to come up and kiss the ring, because if she collects bosses like that, probably we're all going to be working for her at some point.
Mentioned, I did ask a couple of my former bosses, because I think that there are people in the journey of life, both personally and professionally, that you meet that change, your path. And I think these individuals changed a path for me. So one of my first bosses was none other than the incredible Howard Lander, who's sitting over there, who was the head of the Billboard Music Group. And he gave this very young, ambitious girl the opportunity to get into the world of events, and I'm very grateful, Howard. When I decided to leave Billboard magazine, which was really tough, after 6 years, the New York Stock Exchange was looking for a director of events. And I thought, I wonder if I should go into the finance world. I didn't know if I could fit. I didn't think I would fit in over there. And until I found out that it was a former ex-Sony Music executive that was heading the department. So I thought, okay, I'm in. So enter Mr. Bob Zito into my life, and I'm also forever grateful and still a very good friend to me to this day. If it wasn't for a pretty blonde by the name of Miss Michelle Jackangelo Kaiser, who's sitting right over there, who was tasked with finding her replacement, and they needed to find somebody exactly like her. So if you look at her, she is my twin, right over there. And so she became, and is to this day, 22 years later, my very best friend. And I was able to return the favor 3 years ago, because she now heads up my team at Goldman Sachs. So it's all full circle as it comes around. So people often ask me, as Bentley was saying, how I sort of juggle family life and hitting CrossFit, as I often do, and just sort of like managing my career, and it's really because of that man right there. absolutely my rock, who I did meet at Billboard magazine 20 years ago, and he really is the foundation, and he honestly thought nothing of me turning our bedroom into an office that I kept for 2 years. So thanks, babe. And who stayed with me for several years, and she will make me cry. She is here today, she came from Rochester. I honestly don't think that I could have gotten through those early years for anyone who has thought about starting their own business and left a high-paying job to kind of start it on their own and has a lot of doubt and also gets into a lot of debt. You know, having somebody really great by your side, and that's Miss Rachel McQueen, who's here today, so thanks for being here. My business partners are not here, but because they're based out of Singapore and London, but our success is definitely a collaborative effort, and thank God they compensate for my weaknesses, so I'm so grateful to have them, and it's Mark, Peter, Ed, and Chris, and I wish they could be here, so I shout out to them because they can't be. So finally, I think that Adam was talking to this, and I truly believe this, that you are nothing unless you surround yourself with the most amazing people, and I want to curse like that anyway, but I'm going to try to stop. But I think that's like really what it's all about, and so I truly like accept this on behalf of my fucking amazing team. Only some of them are here, not all of them could be here, but they're really truly amazing, and I really like what drives me is making opportunities for all of them. In particular to Liz, Jared, and Maggie, who have been with me for quite a long time now in this journey with many more years to come. I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all of you.
I'm really excited that we actually matched. It's like,
actually
we did not plan this
We
at all.
didn't plan it.
But before we get started tonight, let's just take something.
I think
You look so good.
together.
Wait, let me find it.
How am I doing?
All right, there we go.
Does it look good?
Over here. There we go. All right. Great. Thank you for indulging us. All right, so the next award is for Best Technical Support. And the winner is
Big Wave Productions, Kimono Show NYC.
On behalf of the Academy,
Best New Product. And the nominees are Fifth Avenue Digital for Princegram, PBG Event Productions and Rentals for Cork Furniture Collection, and Sequence for Find and Seek. And the winner is
Sequence, Find and Seek. Best use of graphic design. Island Pro Digital for annual holiday giveaway. And the winner is
Drury Design Dynamics.
I haven't been to the Big Apple Awards since, I don't know how many years ago it was. It was like down on 55 Wall Street. There was 2008. That was the last time I was at the Big Apple Awards. These are great awards that other chapters all across the world copy. Because if you don't know, ISES is truly an international organization. They said, so you have 3 minutes to tell us everything you know about ISIS. And I said, well, I'm not sure I can do that. I can say that ISIS, for those of you in the room who are not a member of ISIS, ISIS has, I don't want to say rebranded, we've refocused. We didn't rebrand who we are. We've decided to look and see why people are members of ISIS. And there's 5 reasons that they come for to be members of ISIS. It's creativity, inspiration, teamwork, education, and relationships. Somewhere along those 5 things are why people are members of ISIS. It brings you You've seen these awards tonight. None of these were done on an island. They were all done with large groups of teams that work well together, and that's why they're award winners. And that's something that ISES brings to the table as far as the creative events industry. I was actually in Cancun this morning, and I was talking to the next MPI chair, and the PCMA chair was there. And we were all talking about the global initiatives of events and meetings, and that's something that we're certainly a part of in ISES. I would encourage most of all for you, if you're not a member of ISES, come be a member of it because it's that global organization. This is obviously a tier 1 market. It's New York City. My clients come here as well. I do work here, but it is not the only city they go to, and I need to know what else is out there for them. I'm an involved member, and I found it very interesting that on my name badge tonight it says active member. I don't know what I did to be active, but I'm sure I'm active. But I like that. That's what you need to be. If you just want to write a check to an association, then I'll take your money. But that's not going to get you relationships and those close bonds that you have. I've known people in this room more than 20 years. Whether it's Jackie and Rob, or Sabelli that's sitting over there, or Brian's in the back and just won an award. There's a lot of people in this room that I know. And I only know that, not because I'm the president, but because I go to conferences, I go to meetings, and that's why a lot of these people meet their vendors. One of the best ways, or best lines, it's true though, it's a marketing aspect I have, for my clients is, you've heard of 6 degrees of separation. I have 2. I can probably get you to an event anywhere you want to be in the world because of ISES. The towers in Paris, or the pyramids in Giza. Believe it or not, we have chapters in Dubai. We have chapters in Singapore. We have chapters in Australia. There's chapters all over the world doing what we do as an industry and a market, and it's something to be proud of, and that's why I'm glad that I like these things. So last thing I think I'll leave you with to be proud of, I leave the office of the president of the International Special Events Society in August, and that's going to be at ISES Live in Seattle. You should all go to that. The next international president is a member from right here in this chapter. I didn't know if you knew that. His name is Kevin White, CSCP. So he'll be the next president. I don't know if you knew that. I heard somebody said Pong, so I guess not everybody knew. Yeah, they said that. They said, oh, it's probably Rob. So I want to thank you for coming and giving of your time and your efforts to ISES and putting your hard work into these events for our clients, because that's what truly makes us the industry that we are. So thank you very much.
I want to say thank you to Adam Sloyer. Adam deserves... Adam has done a remarkable job of running the chapter this year. He has worked tirelessly, and I mean tirelessly, to do everything that we needed him to do. He had a great board, but he really provided the leadership and the vision, and I think we all deserve a round of applause for that. I'm really pleased to present the first New York Metro ISES Chapter Service Excellence Award to 3 deserving recipients. Declan Cox from Fresco by Scotto. Go ahead. Karen Oberstein from Wizard Studios. And James Salvetti from Great Kings. When the board agreed to recognize the unsung heroes who make our companies run and our clients happy, there was universal agreement that it was time to publicly say thanks to these most important, often overlooked individuals. Declan, Karen, and Vinny exemplify the qualities we dream of for our team members: passion, skill, dedication, and a relentless pursuit of excellence. We honor them tonight for always making our companies look good and for always going the extra mile for our clients. Every single day, Karen, Vinny, and Declan make the people around them better, and in doing so, make our companies stronger. They are the cornerstones of our industry. So let's say thanks to 3 deserving members of the event community who make us proud. Please put your hands together and let's recognize Declan, Karen.
The next award is for Best Catered Event. for color invasion. Neuman's Kitchen for low-line anti-Gala. And Riviera Caterers for Hendrick's Voyages into the Unusual.
And the winner is Neuman's Kitchen for color invasion. Decor or set design with a budget under $50,000. Sequence for Cabbage Patch Kids' 30th anniversary.
And the winner is, see through the envelope, but more dramatic. Fourth Wall Events, Miracle on 34th Street. Event decor or set design with a budget over $50,000. And the nominees are Big Wave Event Productions for Kimono Fashion Show in New York City, Empire Force Events for IBM Gala, and GoS Creative Group for 22nd Annual GreenDeals 2013 Moulin Rouge.
And the winner is Big Wave Event Productions, Moulin
Anybody want a smoothie? I have a couple in my pocket. I'm here to introduce our board for 2014-2015. Before I do that, I wanted to say that I had the pleasure of being Adam Sawyer's shadow this year, and he casts a large shadow, even though I'm taller than he is. He did, as Paul said, a magnificent job, and he continues on our board, thank God, so I'm very happy about that. By the way, I also want to thank Mark Settler, who last year, who is a past president of ISES, who about a year ago called me up and said, you know, you should get involved in ISES. And I said, I was involved years ago. I'm not really that outgoing a guy. And he said, no, you really should do this. And he kind of didn't take a lot of arm twisting, but he convinced me that I should get involved. And I did. I have no regrets. I totally enjoy coming to the events. I live on Long Island. Our president of ISES said he came from Cancun. I came from Sayville, okay? So, what do you say? So, you know, I live out there, but it's great to be part of it and to be involved. So, I hope for those of you who are guests and non-members, become members. It's fun. And not only that, but join us in doing stuff. Get on a committee, help us be part of the fun, because it really is a lot of fun. I'd like to introduce our incoming board. I'm going to tell you this is not in any particular order, that way I eliminate politics, although I do want to again say to Adam, who was our immediate past president, he'll be continuing on the board, for which I'm grateful. Is Liz Glover-Wilson in the audience? I can't really see it. You're raising your hand? There she is. And I've known Liz, or of Liz, you know, we've met here and there over the years, and I'm really delighted. I asked her to consider being on the board, and she's one of the leaders in the industry and knows a ton about the nonprofit industry and fundraising, and just gives a great balance to our new board, and she graciously accepted our invitation. So welcome to the board as Director of Large Membership. And there's Maura Buckley around. I know she's over there, Director of Large Programs and Education. We have, by the way, a lot of entrepreneurs. I think of the 12 board members, maybe 9 or 10 are actually entrepreneurs that have their own businesses. Maura is one of those with incredible occasions. And she's also been an event planner, an aquatic event planner, on a boat, not like in the water, right? So, but it's great. And Maura, most importantly, has been really active in charitable works, and it's been great to get to know her and know the charities that she's involved in, for particularly Operation Kids Comfort. So I applaud you for that. It's really wonderful. Deborah, Director at Large Communications, who was up on the stage a few moments ago. Entrepreneur. There you are. You were there before, though. Your road is over there. Okay, founder of the Originators, which is wonderful, and board of, are you still on the board of directors of the Burlesque Hall of Fame? That is fabulous. I just want to say that is fabulous. You're the chairwoman of it. Okay, and I know what we're going to be doing for one of our events this year. So I hadn't noticed that, but you know, glad to know that, and it's great to have Deb. Robert Pease, Director at Large, who I met Robert earlier this evening, from Pong Set, which I believe has had a role this evening, is that right? Yes. And Modular Rental Wall Systems, which are truly magnificent. And Robert may be the only board member who has a degree in physics, am I right about that? Yeah, so I thought so. My degree is not in physics, and we need one. We need one. I'm not sure why or how, but I'm sure that we're going to. So that's good. Darren Olarsh is over there, and he is our new incoming president-elect. Another entrepreneur, founder of On the Move events. He founded in 1993. He doesn't look old enough, but apparently he is, which is great. Sandra Winstanley, I know she is here. She's VP, there you are, VP of Membership. Another entrepreneur, founded her own meeting and event business after a long career in golf events management. Also very active in charitable works, Crohn's Foundation, things like that. And her most important thing is that she's a new mom, relatively new mom in December, to Sadie, which is an awesome name and one you rarely hear anymore. So Sadie, it's very good. Okay, is Alexis Fine-DeAngelis here tonight? Hi. Hi, you're over there. Okay, good. VP of Programs and Entertainment, Director of Catering at FCI Events, a long history in catering, going back at least a decade. So it's great to have people in the food business. I come from an end of it. We've had Paul, immediate past president. We have Adam, who comes from a restaurant family, and some other folks. So it's really nice to have people that kind of are in that such an important part of our industry. Sharon Kleinberg is here. Is she here? VP of Communications, new board member, owner of Symmetry Lithographics, which is really kind of cool to have someone in the printing business. That's such a, an interesting part of what we do. Every event has typography and design and printing, and it gives a whole feel to events. Looking forward to having her involved in that. Matt Sarabay, Director of Membership, I saw him here. President of Blizzard Studios for, I don't know, 10, 12 years, doing events all over the world, which is fabulous. Dana Field, I saw her, Director of Education and Programs, who works for Gourmet Advisory Services, also a long career in catering. And finally, Jackie Tan, Director of Communications, works with Neuman's Kitchen. And I learned that Jackie was also involved in the diamond industry and auctioning off like 60,000 diamonds a year. Did you keep any of them? Tell the truth. Tell the truth. So that's our new incoming board. Fabulous people. I'm so glad that we have a great board to carry on all of our events in this coming year and all the things we're trying to achieve. The board is one piece of it. The other piece is you. Please, please, please get involved. Don't be a wallflower like I used to be. Come to our events, get on a committee, and participate. It'll be a lot of fun. Thanks very much.
All right, that's what we like. Okay. Van Allen Rice, right there. And if you know us, we are going to do this our way, all right? You ready? So here's how it works. Jack talks about Van being an ISIS. Robert is going to talk about Van and working like the professional stuff. Because the way it works is that Jax talks and Robert works. Right? Right? Right, team? Where's my winning team here? Absolutely. Okay. Really? Okay. So, we want you to know that there is much more beyond Van. Beyond him founding Best Tech Lighting and Staging in 1974 on a dream and $900. $900? All right, that's gonna be like drink Santa tonight, right? that after building sets and designing lighting for local theater groups, Van quit his night job as a musician, yeah, who in this room can't say I haven't done that, to devote full attention to growing the company. Van, how about before doing lighting at another ISES event, you get the band back together and perform for us instead, okay? And it's also beyond Bestech being one of the initial prime contractors for Studio 54's 1977 opening. Is that not cool? Come on. Now, Van, you should know, we would have had you on our team to do an event where we created Studio 54, even if you did not do that in the first place. So in addition, Van's a founding member of ISES and our ISES New York Metro chapter, serving as both our treasurer and president. I met Van at the second organizational meeting of New York ISES, where the name ISES New York Metro was voted in. I suggested ISES, that didn't get voted down, maybe Maui Wowie, you can look at sure, okay? At this meeting, Van volunteered, or maybe you were assigned, no one really knows anymore, to be the first ever vice president of programs. Everyone knew my desire to be involved. I took the minutes at that meeting, and I'm sure I have them somewhere. And Richard Aaron, who was elected as the first ISES New York Metro president that night, right after assigning me to work with Van on the first ever education event. It was at Desertland. Who here remembers Desertland? Okay? I mean, really cool. You know, it was one of those panels with those from different disciplines of the industry discussing how we all work together. So either some things never change and history does repeat itself, because who here has not been to a meeting like that in the past year or so? The original owner of our company was on the panel, Robert too, and Van. Of course, Van. I called Rob, who I met at the first New York ISES meeting ever, just 3 months earlier, frantic when going on my first site inspection ever outside of my company, the real work of my company, because I didn't know what to call you. Van Allen, Mr. Rice, so you know what? I didn't call him anything. I just went on the site inspection and I learned a lot from you that day. Do you remember the walkthrough and talking about the flow of the guests from the reception to the meeting portion, because they have the cars there and it was just weird and dark and anyway. I didn't know much then, but you sure did. The event was a success, obviously inspiring to me, and obviously still memorable, because guess what? After that first education meeting, we are still here. Yeah. But then with Van, I helped run many of the programs. When Van went on to the executive board, I became the vice president of programs for the next 3+ years, oh my God. Therefore, working extremely closely with Van and learning to respect and work with others, colleagues that were donating of their complimentary time and effort to the organization, and I learned this from you. Like you do, leading a technical team with so many vendors on the event. Now I have a little surprise for you. Please take a look at the screen, picture of us. Okay? Okay, so Van, you still look as handsome. Robert now is obviously dyeing his hair. And what are with those shoulder pads? Okay, if you want to know the year, find us at the bar and we'll let you know. But obviously this was early on in this chapter and early on way before we owned the company. So hear me loud and proud. I personally credit the recognition I got for the ISES leadership work I did so early on directly to you, Van, and working so much with you. So thank you. It's called meeting planners versus party planners. So you know how long ago this was that we were using the phrase party planners in our event invites. What Van's bio doesn't have is that during his presidency, he was a third for the chapter. And we changed to a different calendar year, so Van was president for 18 months. Not easy then, starting a chapter and still growing his company. That too is what makes a legend. So beyond reading Van's official bio, because that would have been so boring for me, since Robert and I are honored to be, and we're the only ones here at the mic right now, inducting him, I feel my working with Van epitomizes what Van is. You are a true, subtle, and humble giving industry leader. And an ISES professional, because as we all know, ISES professionals are beyond what you only know in your expertise, such as technical, but you are extremely knowledgeable in so many aspects of the event and just being a mensch. Versteht mensch? A good person. So most of all, your demeanor, Van, commands respect. And I don't know what else to say, but everyone just loves Van.
You know, I've been working with Van for a long time, and I've had the opportunity to work with him for 30 years now. And throughout that time, Van's professionalism and his integrity have been an inspiration to me and all the others that he's employed and trained and taught at your classes. So it's great to be up here with Van and have Van and Fran here. And at the time, Van and his team at Best Tech were really pioneering special event lighting and staging. This was back when it was still a little rock and rolly as far as the event industry went. And I was lucky enough to work with Van and his team on many events, including galas at the Waldorf and fashion shows at the Puck Building, which I think now is a Gap, right? and hoisting gear into the Intrepid before they had elevators, if anybody remembers that. And we shared clients, including some of New York's top event producers, such as Joe Van Aaron from Celebrations, and Ronnie Davis at the time with Washington Street Cafe, now with the Great Performances, and Richard Aaron of Mallory Factor at the time, long before anybody ever thought of this whole Biz Bash thing. And all of those people were instrumental in getting ISES up and going as well. You know, Van and what he was creating at Best Tech was a true inspiration to me in the development of my own company. Consistency, professionalism, system service, and attention to detail were the tenets that he built Best Tech on and what keeps him a leader in the industry today. You know, Jacqueline and I formed Empire Force Events. It was natural that we looked to Van and his team as a critical part of our production. And they've never let us down no matter how difficult a challenge we brought to them. Getting a 5,000-pound Cadillac onto stage for Hershey's, building a pop-up department store in Central Park for Real Simple Magazine, hanging t-shirts in Grand Central Terminal, handling the world's largest piece of cheese. Never let us down. So many of our events have had Best Tech and their team at the core, and we can always count on them. A tribute to Van is the development and training of that team, who truly act as an extension of Van himself. Buddy, Ken, Kevin, William, Bill, Mike, and now even Jason, his son, and of course Fran, all those years ago, building the office and keeping things going. We worked with these guys for years, and they're an extension of Van and his commitment to the Best Tech brand. Jack and I are proud to consider them a part of our extended team. Van and I worked on a lot of events together over the years, but personally, my favorite time with Van has been when we sit together and we always have a challenge. There's always some challenge on the event. And Van will pull out his mechanical pencil and a piece of paper, and he'll start drawing. I'm a bit of a crier. When he is solving a problem, I don't know why I just cried. I love it when Van holds that problem on the paper and the smile comes over his face. That's really when he's in his element. You know, it's that continued passion that makes us proud to honor Van tonight and proud to welcome our friend Van into the whole thing.
Wow, 40, it's been such a long and an interesting trip. What a ride. 40 years ago, an acquaintance I had known in high school gave me a call, wanted to know if I wanted to help him build a set and do some lighting for a local theater group production of Plaza Suite, I think it was. I said, sure, we'll do that. We did it. The show was a success, and we had this idea that maybe we should just make a company. We didn't know what we were doing, but we decided to just jump into it. I thought that, well, I wasn't doing much that summer anyway. Until I figured out what I was going to do with my career, that would be something to do. Who would have thought this many years later? It's, I made some prepared remarks here, and it's interesting listening to the award winners and teams that have come up here before me. The theme that I picked up on is a theme of that it's people to people, that ISES is an organization of people working together and supporting one another. And my prepared remarks actually reflect that. After being in business for a few years, I was speaking to someone who maybe a few of you might remember in the industry. He's passed on, Ronnie Altman of Altman Stage Lighting. And he told me something that I took to heart. He said that it's not the equipment you own, it's the people that you surround yourself with that will make the difference and will grow your business. And I thought about that, and I came to realize that my staff, my vendors, my customers, as people, were and are the true strength of my company and really any company. Over the years, I found out some of the great concepts, ideas, problem solving can be found right almost in our own backyard, in your staffs, in your people that aren't necessarily part of the what we would call the creative or production end of the business. I remember a particular incident many years ago when I was we completed a set and lighting for a particular client, and then he dropped on us that as his understanding was as part of our responsibility, we had to come up with several hundred paddles for like a silent auction. Now we only had a couple of days to go on putting this event in, and I didn't have any idea how I was going to come up with 100 of these props, essentially. The carpenter in me, the technician in me, immediately started trying to figure out, how could I get the shop to cut out hundreds of these shapes and do it within a very tight budget and the tighter time constraints that we had. I was kind of mulling this over and walked into the office mumbling something about circles. We need circles for signs. And one of my office staff said, well, how about those cardboard circles that bakeries put under pies and cakes? Would that work? There was the answer. All I had to do was throw the challenge out there and listen to someone who had maybe a different slant or a different experience come back to me with really the perfect answer. We were able to offer different sizes to the customer, and we were able to achieve under budget and certainly within the time constraints getting this particular thing done. That's just an illustration of that within each of our organizations there are untapped resources. There are people working for you or people who work for suppliers that work with you that have a greater depth of knowledge than you may think, and this is why people to people is so important. Our clients as people provide avenues to advance our learning, widen our experience, challenge us to be stronger, quicker thinking, more creative, and better at our trade. This is as people, not as a meal ticket. When we're brought on early in the creative process, we're able to learn more about the scope of the work in advance. It gives us an opportunity to collaborate person to person, drawing on our own and others' talents to make the job better, less stressful, better accomplish the overall goal. We push ourselves because we want to surprise, please, repay the client for the trust invested in us. This sometimes includes working outside of our established comfort zones. It forces us to rely on new resources, new sources of inspiration, new materials, new methods, and sometimes new people. Clients, vendors, staff, one another, forms a bond stronger than contracts, more meaningful than the bottom line. I am thankful to have personally benefited from many of these relationships, which have served to broaden and deepen my knowledge and understanding about all the aspects of our industry. I want to thank all my past and present clients and customers for their trust in Best Tech and in me. Their challenges to my team provide professional services on budget, on time, steeled us to become ever better at what we do. I want to thank the vendors and suppliers, some of them are in this room, who have risen to the occasion with us, shared with us, and taught us so we become more knowledgeable in our profession. I'd like to thank my staff, both past and present. Many of them are here tonight, for their untiring efforts to provide support at the shop and on site to make the company and thereby myself look good. I'm grateful to have this creative and loyal staff, some of whom are here tonight, as I mentioned. These people take true ownership of the work they do, above and beyond compensation, which makes them true professionals. I want to thank the ISES New York Metro Chapter, Board of Directors, Awards Committee, for their recognition of my professional efforts over the past 40 years. ISES is an organization that is about people power. In the early years of this chapter, I made contacts and friends who I've called upon for advice and consultation, still to this day. I'd particularly like to thank Joe Van Aren, his name was brought up just recently, one of the founders of ISES and an early mentor on the team approach to event production, who at a time when we at Best Tech needed direction, made me aware that my career and the future of the company was in this newly recognized field of special events. And in closing, I want to thank my wife, Fran, who was my life partner, and came to work at Best Tech with me 25 years ago as a partner in business. I could not have done it without her in this sometimes crazy world of event production and upholding responsibilities as a small business owner. I thank all of you for coming. God bless you all. Thank you.
President of BizBash, ISES New York Metro founding president, and ISES Hall of Legends inductee Richard Aaron, CMP, CSP, and a past president of the ISES New York Metro chapter and president of Life of the Party, Mark Zettler.
The next award is the best use of social media, and the nominees are Fifth Avenue Digital, Drury Design Dynamics for IBM Pulse, and Fourth Wall Events for Puerto Rico Tourism Council's U.S. Open sponsor booth. And the winner is...
Best use of social media, Fourth Wall Events. Puerto Rico Tourism Council's U.S. Open sponsor booth. Incredible occasions for Friends of Firefighters Fall Gala. Say that 3 times fast. Firefighter Fall Gala. Sequence for Her Justice's Story by Story. Win Stanley Meetings and Events for 16th Annual October Ball. And the Big Apple Award goes to
Sequence, Her Justice Story by Story. For Best Corporate or Association Event, and the nominees are Big Wave Event Production LLC for Kimono Fashion Show, New York City, Empire Force Events by Office Gala, Silhouette Group for Gatsby Holiday Soiree, and the winner is Mark.
Best Corporate or Association Event, the winner is Empire Force.
It's all about them.